What's all the P.M.S with Coach G? It's positively motivating sisters with purpose, meaning, style. Are you ready for positive conversations inspiring you to your next level? Do you need motivation to get you growing? Are you a sister, woman, leader, boss, mom, wife, female, her, she? I think you know what I mean. Are you seeking purpose in your life? Do you know the meaning for which you stand? Do you know your style is your unique authenticator? If you answered yes to any one of these questions, this podcast is designed with you in mind, which embodies the whole you, mentally, emotionally, physically, financially, and spiritually. Sisters, we are on a journey in connecting you from where you are to your what's next with purpose, meaning, style, and it all starts with you. Hi, this is Coach G. Think of me as your personal chief, P.M.S cheerleader, positively motivating sisters with purpose, meaning, style, motivating and wanting to see you win in your personal and professional life. Your connector, guiding you and bridging the gap from where you are to your what's next. I am your growth coach, empowerment speaker, mom, wife, Christian, and I get to serve you in doing what I am passionate about. That's you. Sisters, we are on a journey for you living your life on purpose, for purpose, with purpose, meaning, style. I am going to start out by saying two things: Happy New Year and thank you, because we have moved into season 2. And I'm going to say this too: Happy growth year, because we're always intentional about growing, growing ourselves, maybe growing in your business. But whatever that is, it's all about growth, right? And it all starts with you. So, season 2, here we are. We're in episode 43. It's not like, the television shows we watch and the seasons where, okay, you're in season 1 and now it's a whole new episode 1. No, our episodes continue, our seasons just change. Isn't that how life is? Seasons change, because if we think about seasons, this is not what this podcast is about, but just something that I'm thinking about, because seasons do change. We have the summer, the winter, the spring, and the fall, right? But even during that, we're going to always see those seasons come through, but the chapters of our life change. That's a seasoning in life, as I say, as you get older. So we're talking about the episode. So it's like episode 43. That's where we are. And we are talking about let's resolve this. So let's talk about what that means. A lot of times when we start into the new year, we talk about resolutions, and it's nothing wrong with that, because sometimes that's just the way we set our intentions. But again, because we are all about growth in this platform, on this platform, it's about, hey, setting the intention, but let's continue the process. Let's continue the journey. Let's grow through it. Let's win in it. And that is what all this is about. So when I ask you that, or when I make that statement, let's resolve this, I want to ask you a question. So the question is, where do you go from here? That would actually be the question that I'm asking in the part of, as we talk about let's resolve this, where do you go from here? When you set those resolutions, what is your intention about it? How important it is to you. But what I decided is to share some golden nuggets that I think can set a foundation for you as you navigate and maneuver through your days and the months, and as we are in this new year. And it's from, special guests that I had in 2022, because I believe that a lot of what they said were very good golden nuggets. And I believe it's going to bless your year as we shift in 2023, because that is what's happening. We are making shifts, okay? And in order to do that, you have to take it up a notch. You have to identify, which way am I going? Am I in high gear, low gear? We are making, but our intentional shifts is we're going higher, okay? So if I had to sum up our first season of the podcast, I will say it was powerful because I had the opportunity to invite these guests on the show with us to empower us on our journey. And so that's what, I've decided to share in this episode are golden nuggets that they shared. I can say they shared a lot of golden nuggets, but it's one particular quote or statement that they made that I want to intentionally talk about right now as we're talking about where do you go from here? So one of my first guests was Jamie Reeves. And actually, we did a part 1 and part 2 episode. It was episode 15 and 16 in season 1. And I encourage you, if you haven't listened, go back and listen to it. Listen to it more in depth. But something that she shared was trust your purpose is your journey. Purpose is a foundation that gives you meaning and direction. And so I love when she made that statement, trust your purpose is your journey. And as we are in 2023, we are still on our journey. We are still in the processes of our life. And so as you navigate and as you shift in this year, remember that. Trust your purpose is your journey. And then I had a second guest, LaTanya Miller. This was during the time where it was about, a woman's journey. It was a whole month. That was a particular time that we did it for the whole month. And she was one that shared about transparency. So if you want to hear more about that, go to episode 22, sorry. And it's talking about a woman's journey on transparency. And something she shared was you must be true to your authentic self. I believe that's a great foundation for you as you maneuver and navigate through this year. Where do you go from here? Just be true to your authentic self. Show up as you, being you, in your lane with you, as you. And I believe that, as you're making those New Year's resolutions and you're saying, man, okay, this year I'm going to take that painting class. Okay. At that point, you're being true to your authentic self. It's something that you like about art. And that's just an example, but just actually being truthful and being truthful to you. So my next guest was Siobhan Cunningham. And this particular episode was episode 23, Mind Over Military. And it was about a woman's journey on mental health. Now, we know that is something that as a nation, we are being faced with from all walks of life. It does not matter your class or your status or whether you have money or no money. It is something that many of us are facing. And so something she shared was your pain and your experience is worth it because you as a person grow. Man, can you now, when you're navigating through this year, you realize that, man, in this pain, there's purpose in my pain. This experience is valuable because it's teaching me something, and it's something, once you learn something that you didn't know, do you realize now that you're growing? That's a growth process because our life is a process. So as you, again, navigate and maneuver through this year, remember your pain and your experience is worth it because you as a person grow. And again, go back and listen to that episode in depth. Then I had a guest, Jemina Lynn. It was episode 24, talking about a certain woman, a woman's journey of faith and healing. And this particular statement that she said was the word of God gives you hope. I believe this is, and I told you it's golden nuggets. So For someone listening, maybe you're not a believer, but for me, that's my faith. And I know that what she stated was so profound and so true, and so much of healing, even when we talk about, mental health, but that word of God gives you hope, so as you maneuver and as you navigate through this year, shifting and making shifts, know that there is a base, and that's the word, which gives you hope, which now helps you continue to move forward and navigate through the challenges. Then I had a guest, Nikki Jackson. It was episode 25, all about a queen with goals, a woman's journey on generational wealth. And she had a saying. It was a saying, and she said, survival mode to vision mode. Now, again, I encourage you to go back and listen to the episode, but isn't that what you want, what we need? We need that vision. I think of a scripture that said, my people perish for a lack of knowledge. And sometimes we need to know. I mean, just like now we're listening and we're learning. And as you learn, you grow. And when you set a vision, there's another scripture, write the vision, make it plain. Though it may seem as if it's not gonna, happen, because sometimes it looks like, okay, I'm setting this vision, and I think I'm working towards it, but it doesn't seem like it's happening. Don't get discouraged. And so as we talk about shifting in 2023, and you maneuvering and navigating through your life, maybe it's in your personal life, maybe it's some visions for your personal life, maybe it's some visions for your business. Just stay and stick with it and know why you're doing it. So actually nurturing that vision. And then I had Kendall Bergman, and that was episode 28, maintaining values in relationships. There is so much power in connections. And what did I say that how I would describe 2022 with this podcast? Power, because I was able to connect with other powerful women and have conversations that not only empowered my life, but I believe it empowered others too. Well, I know it did, because I heard back from you all. But her statement was, just ask a question. Something so simple. Maybe on your journey, as you're navigating, as you're, maneuvering through your year and you're making these shifts, it's okay. Ask a question. And I've said it before, and you'll probably continue to hear me say this. It's a quote that Oprah states, that you get in life what you have the courage to ask for. And of course, I even mentioned that in that episode with Kendall. But asking a question, ask the question. It's okay. Asking the question will give you, there's that knowledge of something that maybe you didn't know. Maybe it's something that will help you navigate or make a decision, or help you make an informed decision about what you're doing, what's the next for you, why am I doing this? But it's okay. It's okay to just ask a question. And then that's Sylvia Elliott, and she actually has been on 2 episodes in 2022. It was episode 29, Life Continues, which this is where I pulled this quote from, what she stated. And then she was also in episode 37, A Purpose in Giving. But the statement she made is, this is the legacy of your life. And of course, during that time, we're talking about, the importance of life insurance and what that is, and what that is. But talking about a legacy, you may have a vision. Maybe you're starting out with this New Year's resolution, and man, I have a vision to start my business. I'm starting my business, and because you know, hey man, that you look at that as a legacy that you want to leave for someone. Maybe it's a family member, you know, maybe it's your children. Um, maybe it's, man, somebody that you meet along your path, and you finally have something that you can offer to someone else, because that legacy outlives you. That's just what that is in a nutshell. The legacy outlives you. And then listen to yourself, show up, and use your gifts. That's what Jenny Blumenthal said. And she was in episode 33, where we were talking about corporate rehab. And again, I encourage you to go back and listen to that. I encourage you to go back and listen to all of them. But she stated, listen to yourself, show up, and use your gifts. That's another foundation as you maneuver and navigate in this 2023. You know, you have to set a foundation. And I believe that these are great golden nuggets as you set a foundation, as you shift in this 2023 year. So take time to listen to yourself. You know, what are you saying to yourself? You know, are you encouraging yourself or discouraging yourself? And you know, when you set a vision, we're talking about setting a vision, where do you go from here? Man, you got to show up. Now, do you show up sometimes, and it may not be at your best, but you know what? That's that tiny step. And then use your gifts, because the gifts are in you. And the last one, which was my guest, Janelle Sword, it was in episode 36, Opportunity. And her statement, a quote that I pulled, was, to change your life, you must change your mind. And I believe that is our greatest wrap up as we come to a close of this episode. You know, as you're shifting and maneuvering and navigating, just remember, if you want something to change, and there we go with that resolution. Sometimes we make the resolution, and we say, oh, I'm going to the gym, you know, 4 days a week. And you start out strong, and then you don't continue because you get off track, or maybe you spiral into old habits. But in order for change to effectively happen, you know, we have to make that change in our minds. And that mind and that thought is, you know, why am I doing this? Why is this important? What help do I need? Because sometimes we need that accountability. In most cases, we need accountability. Who is that accountability partner for you? You find you an accountability partner, find you a coach. And of course, I'm a coach. Of course, I'm here as your accountability partner, which, you know, brings me to this moment. I am here to offer one-on-one coaching services and group coaching, and even empowerment speaking to your organization. And you go to the website, gstylecoaching.com, or you can look in the show description, and let's work together. And then there's other options. You know, maybe this is the year you make a shift and you say, you know what, I want to actually engage more in my community, or I want to engage more in a sisterhood community. Well, I have a sisterhood community, which I've talked about before, is Sister Tea Talk. But the thing about some shifts we've made in 2023, we now have the boardroom. So we have Sister Tea Talk, the boardroom, and now Sister Tea Talk, the ladies' room. So the boardroom is a specialty hour. You know, we meet at 12 p.m. Central Time. It's once a month, first Tuesday in the month. And that is for every woman leader, boss queen, and entrepreneur. Because you know what? You need to fill your cup. And the part about Sister Tea Talk, sometimes all we need is a talk with our sisters. And that's what that is. And that sister is you. So that is an option. And then you have the ladies' room. You know, it's more of an intimate space where, you know, we share more of inspiration and prayer, and just engaging and educating and connecting and celebrating with other women. And that age group is actually 17 to 60 plus, 70 plus, because I said, as long as you're living, hey, you should be growing and moving and, growing. Maybe it's just keeping your mind nurtured. So the ladies' room is, same thing, once a month, first Tuesdays of the month. And our first one is of the month of January. It is 7 p.m. Central Time. And if you're interested in that, that's another option. Now, I talked about both of those. You probably say, well, how do I get to those? Well, you go to the website, gstylecoaching.com, and you can go to the boardroom talk and actually register there. And they're free. It's free conversation. We're just coming together with other women and empowering one another, filling our cups, taking that space to just talk, taking that space to emotionally, physically, mentally, socially, financially, physically, just pour into yourself in those areas and learn more about those in those areas. And then, you know what? You already have a check because you're already listening to the podcast. So thank you. You've already taken up one of those options. And again, I had already offered the coaching and empowerment speaking. So again, you have options. You have options. So where do you go from here? And you answer that. And then next, just take the action step. Take the step. Take the action. Take the step. Take the first step. I always say take the first step and then the next. And then before you know it, it doesn't make problems or challenges go away, but it helps you navigate and maneuver through it. And you know what? We are shifting in 2023. And I hope you continue to make that shift with me as we continue to grow and glow in this year. So in the meantime, please, please make this your year. You're saying, you know what? I'm going to start sharing my comments. Send your comments. Don't just listen. Write back. Say something. Voice, your thoughts about the show or things you want to hear more of, and you subscribing and rating and following, that helps us expand and reach others, because we have to continue to empower each other in every area of our lives. And in saying all of that, until next time, sisters, let's keep growing and making the shift. Until next time.